Hey YouTubers, welcome back to our Desert Have a Garden. I wanted to show you an update of our garden in October. So the majority of the heat is past us now and we're getting into a little bit cooler temperatures. Our highs are around 90, which is still pretty warm, but then we've got lows going down into the 60s and 70s, and by the end of this week we should be seeing some nice temperatures down with highs in the upper 70s even. So what I'm showing you right now is our eggplant. If you recall earlier this year, these two plants were actually started back in the end of February, and all summer long nothing happened with them. And here we are in October, and you can see Rosa Bianca eggplants everywhere. Let's see another one right here. So these eggplants are just beautiful and ripe for the picking. Show you, they don't get real big. That's the size that they get to. But they're very tender. They don't have those hard crunchy seeds like those dark black beauty kind that you get in the grocery store. And they're very mild. They're not bitter at all. So you can see that in the fall, our well-established eggplant plant is doing very well. And then up here, you can see this monster is the okra, and we are harvesting okra on a daily basis. You can see this one here, and I haven't pickled any yet, but I'm going to pickle some today, so I'm actually going to be cutting a bunch off, and I want to show you how big this stem has gotten. It's more like a tree trunk. That's probably 3.5 inches in diameter, that big old trunk, and then you can see branches coming off and going up, and this plant is just kind of wild. It's all over the place, but you can see lots of okra everywhere. We're harvesting daily. I just gave away a whole bunch over the weekend to some friends. Now over here, this is our peppercini plant, and same thing. We got one small half-pint jar of peppercinis earlier this year that I pickled, and now check that out. Flowers and tiny peppercinis everywhere. So I'm really excited. Now these peppercinis, they turn ripe when they are they turn red when they are completely ripe. And I'm really looking forward to canning a bunch. I think I'll make them for Christmas gifts for everybody this year. And so I'll do a mixture of red and green in a jar to kind of make it Christmassy and fun. But you can see blossoms everywhere and little tiny peppercinis everywhere. So excited. And then over here, same thing, all summer. We never got a single bell pepper. These are an orange variety, and the rats really liked them, and so you can see that the plant stayed very small. But now we've actually got flowers. And I know that there was a little tiny pepper on it somewhere. Right there. How cool is that? October, and we are going to be getting peppers. I am totally excited about this. And here, the strawberry plants, one of them was right there, and it's dead and gone. This one struggled and struggled all summer long. You can see what the leaves look like. Real horrible and crunchy, but all this new green growth has just been in the last few weeks, and so I'm quite optimistic that this plant is going to get established and we're going to get some strawberries. Now over here along this edge, I have planted the snap peas, and so they're just coming up, kind of small still, but they are getting started. So I look forward to having snap peas. They always do very well in the fall. And here is probably the biggest broccoli plant that's in this bed. My last video I did, I showed you the comparison, the difference between broccoli in the aquaponics and in the dirt. And of course it's doing way better in the aquaponics, but still, because we eat so much, I wanted to plant it out here in the dirt. So I look forward to those coming up as well. Heading over here, this is the moringa tree. So this guy didn't grow very much over the summer, but in the last few weeks you can see it kind of shot right up. and it's supposed, I think they call it a survival tree or something. You can eat everything on it. You can eat its leaves, you can dry them and make them into a protein powder, and then the blossoms, the seeds, everything you're supposed to be able to eat. And I've tried some of these leaves, and they're slightly bitter. They kind of taste like a bitter spinach, but they definitely are edible. So I'm excited that it's getting bigger, new growth. It's always a good thing. It got attacked several times by birds and rats, so it was stripped down to nothing a couple times over the summer. And then in this bed, this was our first bed, you may recall, of the year. I'm sorry, of the entire yard. This was the first bed that we had made. And that is our artichoke plant. And so it was super tiny, down to just a couple little leaves over the summer. And now you can see all kinds of new growth. And there's another one that's hiding over there, but right now this okra plant is just kind of choking it out. And there's a pretty okra bloom. They're bright yellow, and they only open up one morning, and that's the end of the flower, and then it produces the okra fruit. So same thing with these two plants. They're super tall. I'd say approaching 7 feet tall way up there. I'm pretty short, but you can see more flowers. I just love these flowers. And then of course the mint just grows out everywhere. I have to stay on top of that to keep it trimmed back. I started a bunch of carrots over here, but I think the lizards ate all the little tiny sprouts. And then in this bed, we just kind of have chaos going on. The grape plant is in between right now. It's still growing, but at the same time, we're starting to get ready for the fall. Here was a volunteer tomato plant. Maybe we'll get some tomatoes on it. You see the little blossoms. The watermelon plant is not doing very well. We've let the chickens out a few times into the yard, and they kind of pecked at it. Here's the basil. You can see it's all flowers and seeds everywhere, but the bees really like it, so I let it go to flowers so that the bees can get a nice little treat there. And more okra. I really didn't know how big these things would get. And then we had a watermelon. We were covering it in a little jar trying to protect it, but we left it open one night, and you can see that the rats attacked it, so I'm going to cut it off. I'm probably just going to tear out the watermelon plant now. More okra. That little tiny leaf right there is a pumpkin plant. I don't know if I pull the other stuff out, if maybe it'll start taking off. I just haven't had any luck with my pumpkins at all. Let's say a quick hello to the ladies. Hello ladies. So that is our dirt garden update for October. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more updates.